Welcome in to the PHNX Suns podcast, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's #1 sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Lindsay Smith here with Saul Bookman, Espo, and Gerald Bourguet, and we're already started off on the wrong foot because Brian said if I'm wearing a beanie, you know we got Katie in the bag, and I'm not wearing a beanie, and I almost did. I literally almost did. But then I was like, because my hair's super dirty today, and I was like, oh, well, it's good enough. It's not that bad.
It's tough.
So I almost wore a beanie.
Super dirty today.
It is. It's probably been like 4 or 5 days since I washed it.
That was quite the interpretation on that opening spiel that we do. You did it in a different
I did.
style
It was
today.
very
It was like a
aggressive.
remix. I liked it.
A little bit.
Just had to mix it up a little bit. Brian said it's okay because Saul has the white hat on.
I do have the white hat on.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
It was Friday.
I'm sore as hell
Yeah.
from pickleball yesterday.
Yeah, we played pickleball as a company yesterday, and it was fucking fire. I mean, like, I won this fucking gold medal because I'm the best
brother.
at
He pulled it out of
pickleball
his...
here at PHNX.
That's what he left the room for to go get right before we started.
Also because, we love Pickleball Kingdom, and we want to make sure that they get their just due because they were pretty awesome yesterday.
They
Just
were.
want to show this off a little bit more. If you don't know much about pickleball, you haven't gotten into it. We all tried it for the first time for the most part. I mean, there was like 17 of us playing, and we played like a tournament. It was awesome. It was so much fun. Like it was a blast.
And great workout. I burned like 1,100 calories in 2.5 hours. I'm like, I would do this for fun. I forgot how competitive I am at shit. Not as if this show doesn't remind me when we argue, but like in a physical sport, how competitive I can be and how shitty I am at them.
I just can't believe you let him win, Gerald.
I mean,
I can't believe it.
I couldn't control the other matches. The one of the 2 matches I played Saul, I handed him his only L of the day.
My only L.
Because we were alternating partners throughout the day.
But I did redeem myself.
Yeah.
So.
I will give Saul this credit for this. He's a hell of a serve in pickleball for a guy that just kind of picked it up. I think he might have been a ringer. I think he may have actually practiced for weeks on end.
And didn't tell anybody?
Yeah.
Well, they were calling me Sandbag Saul today on the golf course because our buddies at Burrito Express. I took all their money today, so that was pretty fun.
This man's just been winning the last
I've been winning a
24
lot in the
hours.
last week. This is a good week for Saul.
We're going to the casino.
It's good redemption from our last snake draft.
Yeah.
It's hopefully setting a better trajectory for today's snake
Leave
draft.
it to Lindsay to always bring me back down.
Yeah.
And it was such a great transition. It's like, get back to the show and cut Saul down. Look at that.
That's it.
One fell swoop.
But if you guys do want to play pickleball, pickleballkingdom.com is where it's at. You guys should try it. It's also indoors, which is super awesome because nobody wants to be outside right now. Let's be honest.
And they'll even teach you how to play. They'll go through the basics. They'll teach you how to hit the balls the right way. And like it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Okay. Kevin Durant is in town.
Let's go.
Yeah. Like a million reports came out yesterday.
A bajillion of them.
From trusted people, not just random dudes saying, yeah, I saw him at the Circle K, or I saw him out at a Bash's. Like, no, not that kind of crap. No,
but we really did, though.
What?
Didn't we? Didn't we all see? Wasn't he playing golf today?
Well, we've seen him around town.
We have actual evidence of him being around town. Like this is him today on the golf course with us.
You took his money too.
Yeah,
huh?
I took all of his money. Of course, I took his money.
All right, where else has he been?
He was
Scottsdale Quarter. Wow, that seems to make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why he's wearing a long sleeve shirt, but hey, you know what?
Some
I
people
wear
like
long
that.
sleeve shirts in the desert all the time.
Those are tall fountains.
That's not a
let's
surprise.
go.
And he wore his
Like,
jersey, which is amazing.
It's kind of weird, but it's okay.
It's kind of concerning he's in the Nets jersey.
Well, no, it's throwback now.
Oh, throwback night.
He went to
Maya.
Maya.
At the
There you
Maya.
go.
There he
Club
is.
Nice.
There he is.
There he is.
You know he partakes. So in Maya Club Day
And
Party.
He's a man of the people. He was helping with construction at the light rail station.
Look at that.
Dude, he's already a part of
in
the
the
city.
community.
He
Absolutely.
loves this
Already.
city so much already.
He's helping build it. Look at that.
Gosh, what a guy.
I mean, this is amazing. KD is already part of the fabric of Phoenix. Look at that.
Okay, so why is Katie actually here? Go.
We have no clue.
We have no idea.
No, that's the point.
I know.
Oh, wrong answers only
wrong
kind of thing.
No, just what's your speculation? What do you think?
To visit Scottsdale, his favorite city.
Okay.
He said it's one of his favorite cities in the country. So
There was a tweet from 2011 where he said he met a girl in Arizona and kind of liked her. He's coming back to rekindle an old flame 11 years later. So.
Okay.
I think he's just in town. He's going to check out the scene, maybe get a little workout in, probably hang with Book, and just get the vibe and see how hard he really wants to push this thing. Because obviously there's been reports of other teams that are now on the list, if we were, and I think he's, you know what, Phoenix has always been at the top. Let me go hang out there. Let's get the vibe. Let's see how it goes. And then I'll make my decision on how hard I really want to push this thing or not.
I mean, everybody that vacations in London immediately wants to come to Phoenix after in the summer, right? So why wouldn't you go London to Phoenix and hang out in the heat?
Yeah, but let's be real, Espo. Rich people Phoenix is probably a little bit different than our Phoenix.
yeah,
Outside,
You know what I mean? Like
outside still hot as shit, no matter how rich you are.
yeah, but it's nice when you have an Olympic-sized pool that you can jump into. Sorry, I can't catch my voice.
you still got to walk from the
Sounds
house
dying.
to the pool. Still hot as shit.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how rich you are. Unless it's an indoor pool, then
Yeah, but
all
people
bets are
still
off.
go to Vegas in the summer, and it's
Yeah.
just as hot.
We've been in the
Yeah,
club.
Vegas-
We've been to Maya Day Club during the day, and it was fun as hell. Like it's hot, but you know you're used to it, and you just get through it.
He's at
Also-
OG's collecting his lifetime supply that they offered him. So.
I do think it's fun how we're all having a good laugh at all of these things around KD being here. But if we're being realistic, he's probably just here a little bit of vacation and also to probably work out with Devin, if we're being realistic, because less than a month ago, we heard he was working out with Devin. The only person who he's been talking to is Devin because they're working out together in LA. Well, maybe they decided to move the workouts here to Phoenix for a few weeks. Maybe they'll go work out in New York next. Who knows?
I mean, and if it is serious and he does want to come here, somebody in the chat said he could be looking at house. I mean, there's a million reasons he could be here. Gambo was the first to report it late yesterday on Burns and Gambo on 98.7. Mike Jarecki doubled down on it yesterday in the 6 o'clock hour, saying, or actually it was later, he said he had landed around 7 o'clock with his bodyguard and stuff. So credible people saying that he's here in town. I checked. He is not working out at the Suns facility. And I don't say that sarcastically because NBA players are allowed to work out at any NBA facility during the summer. So he could have actually done that and been the greatest troll job ever. But I can tell you, he has not, at least as of this morning, been in their facility.
Well, you know, I've been holding on to this all day, but it is confirmed that he is here in the Valley. And Kevin Durant is actually walking through the door. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have anything.
man.
I was just fucking with you guys.
that would have
that would
been
have
cool.
been. Hey, we had a great.
If Kevin
we had a
Durant would
great
have walked through
list of
that door
guests this week.
just to see the look on your guys' faces, if that really was a secret that I was holding on, would have been just the best thing
Would have been
ever.
like, I wish I wasn't wearing this fucking shirt.
He probably would have been like, it giving you a hard time about it. Would have been good.
Gerald, that's the most precious thing you've said. So concerned about your Ninja Turtle shirt.
I think actually he would respect that.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yeah.
Squirtles. Yeah.
I think KD fucks with it.
My girlfriend was
TMNT.
not a fan of this shirt, but I had to do it once for the show.
What?
Yeah.
It's time for a new girlfriend, Girth. I'm sorry.
Wow,
anniversary.
that might be a little too far.
I'm kidding.
Just
I'm
a
kidding
little.
if you're watching.
Just a little.
Don't let him talk to you like that, Amy.
Happy
So-
anniversary, Amy.
Oh, jeez.
Hold on, it's your anniversary and you wore the shirt she doesn't
Just
like?
for the day, I'm gonna change before our
He's
dinner
gonna
tonight. It's
change
fine.
Espo.
That's
It's
low
fine.
key. You and Kevin Durant will get along because that's low key trolling. Like,
I mean, it is what it is.
Espo is determined to ruin your relationship right
He
now.
is. He's on one. You got to keep an eye on that guy.
It's
All right.
fine.
Speaking of KD, there was also news that came out from Mark Stein, right? About him getting a boatload of money from the Brooklyn Nets
Mhm.
in the midst of him asking to be traded. How do you guys feel about this?
It was interesting to me because I mean, a lot of things about how NBA contracts work and how they're paid and how it's kind of slotted out throughout the season comes down to individual contracts, and a lot of it is not something that's public knowledge a lot of the time. So it was interesting to me to find out that he gets a payment on July 1st and October 1st, about $10 million each. So he's basically making almost half of his salary before the season even begins. I was kind of surprised about that. And for me, I don't know how this the nitty gritty of this type of stuff works, but like if he's getting paid almost half his salary before the season starts, like doesn't that kind of open the door to him being more willing to sit out? Like I don't know.
And how does it work too? Can they recoup money if he is sitting out? Is that just, you know?
I think so, because correct me if I'm wrong, but if you sit out without a legitimate reason, can't they fine you for? Isn't that what happened with Ben Simmons?
They can fine you, but like it's not like they could go that $20 million. We're reversing that direct deposit. Bring that money back to us. Like it's an interesting wrinkle, and he got paid $10 million already. If he does get traded, how does that work? Does the team because that's technically money for this next season,
Right?
Does the team that trades for him have to pay that, help him pay that money back? Does he give it back, and then the Suns or the Celtics, whoever, pay him? Like all sorts of weird stipulations with this. It gets more bizarre every little thing we find out about KD in this whole thing.
Right. And in the report that Mark Stein wrote, he mentioned that training camp will start in probably mid to late September. So that second payment on October 1st, if he's not showing up to training camp, do they have grounds to withhold that part of that second payment from him? I don't know, but it is interesting because last year I think Ben Simmons filed a grievance for salary that was not paid to him. Not similar situation, not the same situation. So I don't know how this works, but I am interested because I feel like this is a wrinkle that could come into play later if he decides not to show up for training camp. And I'm curious to see which side in this ongoing game of chicken kind of blinks first.
I also would wonder if that's something that you could use in the negotiating, like behind the scenes, if that money stays with KD and it just is what it is because that's how they wrote the contract. Can the Suns or another team say, hey, we'll also throw in $20 million, aka cash considerations, in addition to all the other things, right?
I don't know if there is a limit on what a cash considerations in a deal could be. Like, again, all sorts of little wrinkles here.
And we never hear how much cash was actually sent out either. So could be a couple $100,000. It could be millions. We have no idea how much is going out the door.
It's all very interesting, but
any chance if he is working out with Book that they do? I'm getting like you saw.
You guys are getting so choked up at the thought of KD being in the Valley. It's finally here.
They do a DeAndre Jordan and trap him. I'm so choked up about this.
They
so
lock
you're
him in a room.
asking, do you think the Suns players would do that to him?
No.
He's like, we're keeping you until Brooklyn decides to do this. I'm dying.
It's the worst when you have to cough, but you're in a setting where you don't want to cough.
And you're in the middle of a sentence. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. On a podcast.
Oh, this audio is fucking phenomenal.
Oh, man.
No, I don't think there's a chance of
Yeah,
that.
they can't. And it's not like he's a free agent, so there's other
Brooklyn,
things.
we're not giving him back until you deal him for Jake Crowder,
Legitimately
Landry
kidnap
Shamet,
him?
and a couple firsts. So
I don't know. All right. Well, that's the latest on Kevin Durant. Obviously, we will continue to talk about this until there is a resolution. But until then, shall we move on to another really big name?
Yeah.
Another
let's do it.
superstar in the league?
Let's do it.
One LeBron James. Kevin O'Connor wrote an article for The Ringer basically talking about how LeBron James is up for an extension, but does he feel like he should stick around with the Lakers? Since he has not signed that extension, maybe does that mean he's looking elsewhere to see if there's another place he could go win a couple more rings with? And this little excerpt from the article says, if LeBron does end up finding himself with a wandering eye, here's how I'd rank his best fits around the league. And then Kevin O'Connor had the Suns as his number one option, saying LeBron is BFFs with Chris Paul and old friends with James Jones. The Suns want Durant. Wouldn't they also want LeBron? Phoenix itself is a great city. Arizona has lower taxes than California. It's a short flight from LA. LeBron would get accused of riding coattails, sure, but the Suns did fall short in the 2021 season. They also fell short in the 2021-22 season. And he asked the question, are they getting a little long in the tooth in 2022-2023?
Well, they are getting a little long in the tooth when you're talking about Chris Paul.
there's one person on the roster.
But he's a key person. You know what I mean? So, and listen, when Flex way back has said the Suns will be in the market for a big-time superstar,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately thought it was LeBron.
We both pointed to him.
Yeah, and I was like, because of the relationships that LeBron has with players and obviously James Jones on the team, it would not shock me whatsoever if this was the plan B at some point.
I actually think it costs you less too.
I think it does. Well, you don't have to give up much.
No, because it's he's on a 1 year. The only hesitation would be, are you willing to give up assets to the Lakers? Because could that come back and bite you in the ass? But quite frankly, I don't care. I actually think LeBron fits better than KD. If you're giving up less, he can play that power forward spot. His relationship with CP3 and James Jones is a great one, a solid one. I actually would prefer that if I'm sitting in James Jones' spot.
LeBron, I think, even likes the Valley. Mm-hmm. I think he respects Suns fans now that he's actually seen like intense Suns fandom, because for a majority of his career, the Suns were kind of irrelevant. But that playoff round against the Suns, I think, kind of opened his eyes as to what could be here in the Valley. He's always wanted to play with Chris Paul. That's been no secret. Like, it makes sense. And I love Espo's point. If you're talking about keeping all those pieces and then you add a LeBron is one of the best all-around players in league history. He can facilitate as good as anybody else. And he can get his, he's a perfect fit for what you're trying to do, as opposed to a KD who's basically a dominant scorer. Can do other things, yes, but it makes sense to me. And if we get to a point where LeBron bypasses it and does not sign that extension,
it's open season.
Which technically, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure KOC in the article said he has until basically this time next year to sign the extension. So this could be a very drawn out thing, just like the Kevin Durant.
But he's a free agent after this season.
He is. It's this year's what's left on the
deal. So he can still sign that extension, but he could also sign with any other team.
Right.
And if you're the Lakers, do you want to risk it and not get anything in return for LeBron halfway through the year? Especially, dude, you need to stack up picks more than anybody.
Need picks
like
real bad.
They're on the backside of this hill. They need assets. They need them desperately. So if the Suns want to sacrifice a first rounder here or there, I'm okay with that.
Well, and Darvin Ham, the new coach there in LA, has already reportedly said they want to run their offense through Anthony Davis. Like, that's going to be their focus. And LeBron supposedly said,
how?
Okay.
You're going to do that.
I don't know. I mean, great. But that's good,
We're
because
going to run it through the bench and come right back.
It'll be in the hospital, in the trainer's room. You got to go through there.
Yeah.
Look, though, I think there's a path there, and I find that very fascinating. I think LeBron would be great in the 0.5 offense with Monty. Gives you another passer, so you could take some of the pressure off of both CP3 and Book to have to carry all that load. Like, I don't know. I know it's all pipe dreams that we're operating in, but I really think that makes more sense. I get it. He's 4 years older than Kevin Durant, but he had an MVP type season last year.
And he doesn't have to carry the weight.
Yeah.
He's got 5 other dudes that would help facilitate the burden that he would have to carry. So he's not carrying it like he has to do in LA and every other stop in his career. It's not like that anymore. You just need him to be a solid all-around player. He can still get his. He can still score at a high rate. He can still, he's a walking triple-double. Like, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the LeBron trade, you're giving up less. I still think you're having to give up a boatload of draft picks and probably one of Mikal and Cam Johnson, because they're still going to hold out. It's LeBron James. Like, even with only 1 year left on his contract, they're still going to want a return, and you got to match his massive salary on top of that. But you'd still be left with those 4 and LeBron, and that'd be good enough by far to win you a title. It'd alleviate a lot of the things we talked about with Kevin Durant, as far as the wear and tear on Chris Paul and Devin Booker having to do so much. My thing is that, like, I don't understand the impulse. Like, if LeBron came here, it'd be weird to cheer for him. Who gives a shit? Like, he would win. He could help you win a title easily.
That's my thing. Is there's a lot of people in the comments who are like, but you really want to cheer for LeBron James? Like,
If he's in the Suns
Espo was
jersey,
willing to make a deal with the devil to win a championship.
I would put him in the
he would
starting
cheer
five.
for LeBron James. Come on.
I put the devil in the starting 5 if it got you a title. Like, why is it so hard? And yes, hello, I did call LeBron an asshole for walking with a cigar. And I welcome that asshole to Phoenix in a heartbeat because we'd be a great team, title, favorites, and the biggest bunch of assholes you've ever seen in the NBA, and I'm all right with that.
Listen, you got to rock with the dudes that are on your squad. We all hate Pat Bev, but if Pat Bev was a Phoenix Sun, we would love some Pat Bev getting in other people's craw and causing a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's just, it is what it is. And LeBron, like, listen, I think LeBron is such an interesting case because he's never going to top Michael Jordan for me, right? But he's the number one for a lot of people out there that saw his uprising here in the NBA. He's, for all intents and purposes, he's a really good dude, does a lot of philanthropy. It's just the way he carries himself that rubs people sometimes the wrong way. Sometimes people just don't want to see you succeed.
Right.
And I think that's a large LeBron thing.
Mhm.
But LeBron also brings it on with himself because he's got a little bit of, he tries to do the showmanship thing, but sometimes it comes off as whiny. He seems like he should be such a dominant personality, yet sometimes he cowers down on the court and flails and is constantly complaining and crying and stuff like that. That's what rubs people the wrong way. That's a large reason why a lot of people don't like Devin Booker because they feel like he complains all the time, right? Like, but it's okay if he's on your team.
Yeah.
Like, we love Devin Booker, and we don't see him complaining at all.
Yeah.
If LeBron came here, I wouldn't see it either.
Build
Like,
him a
it'll be
damn
all right.
statue if he comes here and wins a title.
And Coda Kid, no, he ain't. Stop.
Yeah. And I just, between the scoring, the facilitating that he'd bring, the defense when he's locked in, which would need to be a thing because defense in LA hasn't been there, like, he would be a really good fit. I think Kevin Durant, because he's younger, would still be the better fit. But LeBron, like, he launches you. If there are questions about Kevin Durant with the injury and all that, with LeBron, if he's on your team, you are immediately a finals contender with this group. Like, it's not even a question. So it's a no-brainer for me if he's interested in coming in.
And for all those people that are always clamoring about national attention,
Oh,
why
we'd have
don't-
all of it.
We would have all of it.
Could you imagine all the national TV? I mean, I think they're going to get a lot of national TV games when the schedule's announced here in the next few weeks anyways. But if you had LeBron on top of everything that the Suns have here, it would almost be every night that you'd be able to see
And
them.
Brian's, not to mention, we might get a call for once.
Yeah.
If he was on our team,
Yeah.
we'd probably get a little bit of the officials on our side,
Yeah.
if you will.
True.
I'm just saying.
Okay. In the chat, somebody said I should wear a Jar Jar Binks costume if LeBron.
Oh my
if
God.
we get LeBron.
That's such a random thing.
Well, no, because
No,
we
'cause it
said
was an
Ewok
Ewok.
if Kevin Durant gets
I got you.
here. So, you know
Star
what? I'm
Wars.
in. If LeBron's here, I will dress as Jar Jar Binks as long as we
I'm starting to
make
think
sure
the chat
that's
just wants you
okay.
to dress up as
Hey,
something.
whatever they're
It's a
into.
Star Wars
you know,
character.
whatever.
Guys,
I would've
Halloween
said-
is just
I
around the
would've said
corner. Don't
Teletubby,
worry.
But, whatever.
Look, chat, I'm here for you if that's what you're into. I'm willing to do whatever it
Have
is
something
to get you
that
guys
might
going and
be
get you coming back. All right. So
Nobody got that one?
I didn't hear what you
I
said.
didn't hear what you
Sorry.
said.
Said,
either.
is that something that you think that you might be into?
What is that from?
Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, okay. I knew it sounded familiar,
Really
but I
great.
couldn't place it.
Really great. Sorry. But yeah, so that's an interesting thing to definitely keep an eye on, especially maybe not right this moment, but like you said, he's got 1 year left, potentially something at the trade deadline to keep an eye on. He could be a guy that if they work out some sort of an agreement behind the scenes with the Lakers, that he gets moved to the place of his choice as well.
I mean, trade for KD, sign LeBron to the mid-level next year. Perfect.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Eric in the chat just asked, when did the Suns become the bad guys? They became the bad guys, and you didn't realize it was happening. But once they got housed by the Mavs and the outpouring of hate across the country to dance on the Suns' graves, that's when you knew, oh, we were the bad guys. Okay.
I think it happened when they skipped steps and they went from
Yep.
team not in the playoffs for a decade to team in the finals. Like, I think that whole thing made people disliked them, and CP3 was dislikable, before this.
And it's also the working out after the games, like people that rub people the wrong way too. Like, these dudes just beat you by 20, and now they're just working out on the bounce ball. Like, hey, fuck you.
Again,
like,
they hate success, and they hated us during that finals run because we were talking all kinds of shit, and because every other team was like, oh, they had this guy missing, they had this guy missing, so they were finding any way to. And it's weird because you would think a fan base that hadn't been in the playoffs in 10 years, that hasn't won a title as the longest tenured NBA team in any city to not win a title, you would think we did get bandwagon fans, but the turnaround as far as like, oh, these guys are fun, to like, nah, fuck these guys, I'm sick of them, was immediate. It was crazy.
A Phoenix says people didn't like that money counting douche in the crowd either.
Nobody liked him.
No kidding.
Well,
Even we hated it.
The Suns in 4 guy, the money counting douche. Like, it was a lot to handle.
Our fan representation on a national level may not have been the best.
It was not great.
The Phoenix Suns are the most hated team in the NBA. Suck it, everybody else.
I also think, let's be honest, I think Devin is a culprit in this as well. Not because necessarily he deserves it fully, maybe a little bit here and there, because he is pretty petty. But I just think he's a guy that people can love to hate for whatever reason. I think he's just one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's one of those who's super polarizing. You either love him or you hate him.
This is something that I'm going to hearken to because I feel like I've lived it. And I'm telling you, it's I call it hashtag Team Light Skin. Some people just don't like us light skin brothers just balling, man. Like, it's just what it is, man. They hated on Steph Curry, but he had to show him, like, hey, I'm the real deal. And he'd come through and get a finals MVP to prove his worth for whatever reason. Like, it's a thing. Like, it really is a thing.
I have no comment.
This may be an unpopular take, but I also think it's because his game spits in the face of the analytical approach that has been pushed so hard. He is a mid-range guy. He's a guy that very much looks like an older school player. Yes, can he step behind the arc and hit those threes? He can, but I feel like that's some of it too, because it's counterintuitive to what the game's become, and he had success doing something that people said you can't have success doing anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's because people thought he wasn't good and thought he was overrated and thought he was a losing player on losing teams, and they've been proven wrong every step of the way. And so rather than retract your opinion of him and say I was wrong, people just find new things to hate on, and that's part of it. Like, and he, book whines to officials. He talks a lot of shit. So people don't like that because they're like, what have you accomplished? What have you done?
So does every
other player. Luka hasn't done shit either. He's made a conference finals. Whoop-de-doo. Have you made a finals? No.
Well, and he's more annoying in his complaint. I mean, every single person in this league talks shit and complains to the refs.
Right.
You have to do that if you're an NBA player. I think it's in your contract.
Right.
Everybody does it.
It's a jealousy thing. A lot of these fans don't like to have guys have fun, date a Kardashian, make lots of money, have these cool cars. It's a jealousy thing.
That bastard.
It is.
I honestly do think that a lot of it comes down to being jealous of these guys who actually have a talent and a skill that we all wish we had. I mean, and I don't blame you, right? Like, yeah, am I jealous that this person over here has a skill that is literally top 100 in the entire world? Yeah, I would love to have that too, but we can't all be that.
Yeah, it's got to be a healthy jealousy. It's like, damn, I wish I had your life, but you keep living your life because it's pretty fucking awesome.
I'm for you.
Good for
keep
you,
doing
man.
it.
I'm not jealous. I'm like, man, that's nice for him. That's good. Someday I'll get mine, It's not like that, but
someday I'll perfect this jumper of mine.
You heard it, Chloe.
Watch out.
I'm going to get that.
I heard she's single. Let's go.
So is Kim, apparently. So.
I wasn't talking about the Kardashian part. Why did everybody assume that? How about cool cars, nice wardrobe of old school shit?
Did you guys see the headphones he posted on his social? Yeah. I love them.
Yeah, they're pretty
They're
cool.
like a very retro vintage vibe, which is right up his alley as far as his aesthetic.
Yep.
I'm a big fan. What?
Shane is just laughing his ass off over here.
I don't know what you're pointing at. Oh, what are we which one is it? I don't mind being hated. We'll just
sick
say
Chelsea on
them. That's funny.
Oh, here comes Chelsea. She's coming out.
I didn't mean it that sarcastically. It just kind of came out that way. It wasn't intentional.
Oh,
No.
Shane has left the building.
He's a shade of
The
stone.
mustache has left the building.
But yeah, okay. So let's keep going on today's show. We've got.
Hold on. I love the fact that our producer left. We have a second intern producer, and he has not moved to the actual computer. He's just sitting there.
He called Shane's bluff better than we could.
He's like, you guys will be fine. It's okay.
Like, he'll be back.
This thing's on autopilot. Don't worry.
We've got some things that we want to give to you guys. So we have 2 sweepstakes happening right now at gophnx.com. And we're going to pick a lucky winner later on in the month. So why not you? All you have to do is enter. First and foremost, we've got our Toast of the Month sweepstakes with Four Peaks Brewery. This sweepstakes, one lucky winner will win a $50 Four Peaks gift card, a PHNX t-shirt of your choice, and a PHNX annual membership. This one's cool because over at Four Peaks, the whole family is welcome to come in. The food is fantastic. They also have cool merch as well. So everyone can kind of enjoy this one, right? So go phnx.com or click the link in the show notes. Also, just a reminder, in order to enjoy Four Peaks beer, you do have to be 21 years or older, and we ask that you enjoy responsibly. And then our friends over at OG's also hooked us up with a sweepstakes, the Flavoring Life sweepstakes. And for this one lucky winner will receive 3 bags of OGs, including their orange creamsicle and tropical flavors. You're also going to get an OG's hat, a PHNX shirt of your choice, and a PHNX annual membership. Once again, you have to sign up at gophnx.com, or you can click the link in our show notes. That'll take you over there. But if you'd like to check out OGs, you can do that online at ogsbrands.com, or you can find them on Instagram at ogsbrands. You can also find their products at your local dispensary. But again, no winks. For real, you must be 21 years or older to purchase. Brian, and cut it out with that comment, Brian. 21 or older only. That's the rules, and we're sticking by it. You guys ready for a draft?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Damn, guys.
Don't be so excited.
I love that I picked the topic, and I'm like,
Why aren't you excited? You picked
Okay,
the
real
topic.
quick, before we get into that, we have a question that we have to answer. Nicholas said, is Four Peaks even good?
Brother.
Serious question.
It
Dude.
is it's phenomenal. I've been going there since college before we ever had this partnership. So
I've been going there since elementary school. No, I'm just kidding. No, like, look, I actually drank their beer before. And I'm not a big beer guy, but the peach ale is hands down one of my favorite beers of all time. I've kind of fallen in love with the WOW as well since we've been partaking in their stuff. I personally really love it. And I'm not saying it because they put money in our pockets.
Yeah, the WOW weed is good.
The variety by which they offer beverages is great. It's great. I've had just about every single beer, and every single one of them slaps.
And their food does too.
And their beer milkshake.
Because I'm with you, Gerald. When I was in college, back before I became allergic to alcohol, I also was able to drink Four Peaks. Kilt Lifter was my jam back then. Kilt Lifter was the beer. We've talked about this.
Yes.
This is the beer that you had while you were playing beer pong. That was the beer you were enjoying. The beer pong beer was like the garbage beer that was like really cheap. But the Kilt Lifter is what you enjoyed while you were out.
And then you made the mistake of when you ran out of the shitty gaming beer, you used what was left of the Kilt Lifter to continue playing beer pong. And that was always a bad choice. We still drank it.
You know what's good if Saul is giving praise to something made in Tempe.
Yeah.
That's
true.
That's how good you know it
True.
is.
And yes, the food there is really good too. Everything that we've all had thus far, everyone has raved about. So, okay.
I like Tempe though. I just don't like the school that's there. But I like everything else about Tempe.
It's tough.
Because I'm a Tempe kid myself.
Okay. Well,
I thought you were a Cordis Junction kid.
Marcus
you're
Teniza,
Tempe's-
baby. I went to high school in
You
Marcus
know,
Teniza.
everybody has that one thing that they should be ashamed of. It's all right.
We went to Seton Catholic. They weren't even a qualified school until
I had a
like,
bunch of friends that went to Marcos Deniza, so I used to give them shit.
back to our snake draft. Today we are
We're
drafting,
drafting high schools in Arizona.
90s shows. And I feel like this is going to be a hard one because there are tons of shows from the 90s and it can be anything.
That's what makes this fun.
Animated, it can be a sitcom, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And the order is going to be Espo, Lindsay, Saul, Gerald. Also, should we?
So I'm the fourth pick.
Yeah. Do we
Okay.
need to give a? Technically, Gerald won our last one by like
I did.
0.2%.
It's not technically. He did win.
I did win.
And I came in last,
0.2%.
but he won.
Yes, I know, but if you look at it on your mobile phone, it says we tied.
Yeah,
Still.
but he won
Does
by
it though?
0.2%.
Because my name is highlighted on the poll. I'm pretty sure.
I got screwed
Gerald.
that whole thing.
It doesn't say almost Lindsay. It,
It
says
was
Gerald.
Gerald. Gerald did win.
By like 3 or 4 votes, probably. It was
close.
It was
It was
tight.
probably one. Let's be
It was
honest.
tight. But
Oh, I hate having the first pick because
The
inevitably
first pick is hard.
it sets the tone.
It says
And
bad pick.
well, yeah, bad pick. It's coming, and one of these it's probably going to be a bad pick.
we're already prepping.
I'm between two here.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Friends.
Okay.
of course you did.
It's because it's a show that people still watch today.
Mhm.
They freaking are doing road shows with set pieces from the show still. Like it's had longevity. I won't say another pick, but there was a pick in the chat that was from a similar time period and also a sitcom that does not have that longevity, does not withstand the test of time as well. That could have gone number one, but I will stick with Friends.
Okay. Mine are all going to be much more cartoonish.
You're
I'll
going
be
on the
honest.
Nickelodeon side, aren't you?
Well, that's what I was able to watch in the 90s. So
Respect.
this one technically
she's
came out in the
colorful.
90s, but I wasn't able to watch it till I was older. But Goosebumps. Loved it.
Goosebumps, Okay.
Goosebumps.
You were prevented from watching Goosebumps
I was
in
not
the
allowed to
90s?
watch Goosebumps. I had to go to my friend's house up the street, and her dad would let her watch Goosebumps.
Yeah.
And me and my sister would go to her house and we watch Goosebumps. And then I would have nightmares at night. My mom would be like, "Why are you having nightmares?" I'd be like, "I don't know. I don't know.
Could you read
I
the
did
books?
not watch Goosebumps. No, I wasn't allowed. Goosebumps were off the table.
Wow.
I am between 3. Man, this is really, really tough. I'm going to go with Simpsons
Okay.
because it
call.
started in 1990. It's the longest running animated TV series of all time.
Mhm.
It's a classic. Like, everybody's seen The Simpsons. Like, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I think also its best stretch run was there in the mid 90s. So I think it's a good pick.
All right. So I'm going to go with. I got back-to-back picks here.
You
Correct.
do.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
Yeah,
off the
good call.
board.
That was my other one.
Because I was thinking about maybe waiting till the second or third round, but I know it's going to be off the board. By
Yeah.
then.
I don't think you would have had it.
And then I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Hey Arnold for my second
That's a
pick.
good one.
Wow.
Love Hey Arnold.
Wow.
Hey, Arnold. Okay.
I'll give you
I'm
that.
going to go with one that I feel like if you were, listen, like Lindsay, you grew up, you were born in what, 90, 91, something like that? I don't know. Something in the 90s. And so like you had to have been like our age really to really appreciate what the 90s had to offer because TGIF was a banger.
Oh, yes, it was.
It was a
you
banger.
would plan your week around,
Yes, around
what's
TGIF.
coming up on Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. And on a show, it's funny I say TGIF, but I'm not even so sure that this show was on there. But I'm going to say Boy Meets World.
Okay.
Because-
That was so high on my
because-
Wait, so you're not
because-
TGIF?
It was on TG.
It was on TGIF, but I was a little confused. But yeah, dude, listen, Corey and Topanga.
Mhm.
Topanga was like the crush. Like she
Born
was
in Mesa.
awesome.
What a name, too.
I know. Like
Where'd
you
they
never
come
heard,
up
I was
with
like,
that?
what the heck? Yeah. It was just such a classic. You can't go wrong with that.
Corey, Sean, and then Topanga.
But
Where did that come
it
from?
fit the character. She was like this out there
She
hippie
was.
kid when it started. Like if you go back and watch the first few seasons, like she was really out there. So.
Mhm.
Okay, my turn. Before I pick, we do have a super chat. Oh, never
No,
mind.
don't read it. It gives away picks. Just
Okay. We're
Do
saving
that
the super
at the
chat.
end.
for
Kyle
now.
took it away.
after it's picked, we can.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
he
either
took
way,
it away?
thanks, Kyle. Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle, for taking the money you gave us away.
I was like, I don't know what happened. Okay. I'm going to go Daria.
Okay,
I love Daria.
Mhm.
Daria Saric.
DARIA.
Yeah. You've never seen Daria, Shane? So good. Daria is a classic. By the way, last time I checked, it was on Hulu, and yes, it does still hold up.
Holy shit! I'm getting my first and second picks in this
Are
draft.
you going to go with
It's
another sitcom?
Seinfeld.
Oh, man.
It's people would argue that was the number one show in the 90s. I couldn't pull the trigger at 1, but at 8.
Is that why you were mad at me for reading it? Because he had said Friends suck, Seinfeld's better?
Yeah.
Right.
Did you think I'm a Seinfeld person?
No, I knew you were going to take... I was overthinking it.
I do feel like people either like Friends and hate Seinfeld or like Seinfeld and hate Friends.
Yes,
I was
100%.
definitely in the like Friends, hate Seinfeld camp, so that's why I did not draft it.
So I appreciated Seinfeld more when I was younger and Friends more now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably because my wife brainwashed me. She watches / listens to it every night when we go to bed. So
That is a great pick for the number 8 pick in the draft, though. I'll give you that.
I'm gonna do.
Oh wait, you have
you have one more. I forgot. My bad.
I was gonna
everyone
take
jumped on Lindsay.
Boy Meets World was my
Your next
bounce
one.
back pick. Ooh, there's a couple that weren't necessarily my jam, but I think people like, and I'm just gonna do.
So
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
go
pander?
X-Files here.
Okay.
I did watch that occasionally.
They let you?
I watched it in the 2000s.
Oh, gotcha.
When I was a little older and allowed to watch those things.
Much like why Katie's out here
Also-
in Arizona, the truth is out there.
Sierra Vista, I feel like, was always a couple of years behind the rest of the world. So, like, when I started watching shows, it had probably been around for a few years. It's always like 5 or 10
cable
years
was a little
behind.
slow out there.
Just a smidge.
Saul went TJF, and I went must-see Thursdays with my first 2 picks here.
Let's see. I think I'm going to go. These are tough ones, these next ones on my list. I have like 9 or 10 that I think are all really great picks.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to go Rocco's Modern World.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
That was a fun
I don't
one.
even know what that
All
is.
3 of your
Yeah,
picks have been
Rocco.
ones that were not on my board, but like barely just missed the cut.
I like them.
Like I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
There are so many Rocco's Modern World.
Oh,
it was like, what was he?
Isn't it
I don't even know
Modern
what he
Life?
was.
A dog or an
Isn't
armadillo?
Rocco's
Like an
Modern
armadillo.
Life?
Kangaroo looking guy?
Oh yeah, Rocco's Modern Life.
Oh, Modern Life?
Yeah, it's ROCKO. Rocco's Modern Life.
Not bad.
And his friend was like a turtle or a bug or something. He was something green.
Yeah, I don't even
So
remember.
I'm gonna go with what I think is probably the number 1 non-comedy
Okay.
Murder,
on the board.
Okay.
Twin Peaks
Okay.
Ooh.
I don't
Twin
know what that
Peaks.
is.
was like just a legendary show. It's widely acclaimed. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get a fucking win here, and I'm picking some bangers.
Yeah.
Like I better come close.
Well, let's see here.
We'll see how this goes though.
Yeah.
Somehow,
There is
some way.
so many good shows.
I grew
Sure.
up in the 90s. My sister liked Daria. Like I didn't fuck with Goosebumps, but I know a lot of people did, and I don't even know what Rocco's Modern Life is. So
It's good. It's good.
All right. So I'm going to go with. This is tough.
What you got, Gerald? What you got?
I'm going to go with Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
Good call.
And then I'm going to go with South Park.
Did South Park
Did
start
South
in the
Park start
90s?
Mm-hmm. Started in 96 or 97.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I do like South Park.
Hmm.
And South Park is solid to this day still.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it started that far back.
They've been around for a while. I think they just wrapped up season 25 or something.
Saved by the Bell is a
That was a good one.
Kelly Kapoor
That was my comeback
was
one.
one of my first childhood crushes for sure.
Kelly Kapoor.
Or Kaprowski.
Kapowski.
I thought of Kelly Kapoor from The Office.
Kelly,
not from The Office.
Yes.
From
I was like,
Yeah.
Kelly
"Oh,
Kaprowski.
Got the
That's
wrong show,
Yep.
buddy.
I agree. Both Topanga and Kelly Kapowski were big crushes.
Dude,
back
Kelly
in the day.
Kapowski. Oh my god.
Oh wait, my wife's in the
Yes.
chat. I did not just say that. So
It's okay. It was
She-
the 90s.
she
You didn't even
knows-
know her
she
in the
knows.
90s.
I did know her in the 90s. She was my crush in the late 90s. So I met her in 98. So
Look at you.
look at
Saw
that.
you're up.
Oh, I'm up.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I have it right here. Oh, Beverly Hills 90210.
Okay.
Quality call.
Yep.
Yeah, you just
90210.
put
Everyone will know
90210.
that. Okay. I am going to do Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah. Good call.
Nice
It's such a good one.
Go Blue Barracudas.
I wanted
Silver snakes.
Get outta
nothing
here.
more in my life than to be on that show.
I know.
It would have made me the happiest kid in the entire world.
I know. And I always, what were
just-
the bad guys that would come out and grab you in the
yeah.
Temple guards.
the temple guards? I was always shouting at the TV like, knock them off. Like, why are you getting captured so easily?
CW made an adult version remake
They did.
last year, and it was trash.
Was
Was it?
Hot freaking trash. I love that show so much from my childhood,
Mhm.
and I watched it thinking, "Oh, this will be fun." No, I'd much rather just go watch reruns from the 90s.
Have you watched The Floor is Lava?
Yeah, that one's fun.
I think that one's fun.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
it
but it's
is,
fun.
but it's fun.
Shout out Olmec, big talking head.
Yeah.
All right,
right.
Gerald, what you got?
I think it's.
Oh,
it's
Espo,
mine,
sorry.
suppose.
My
She
bad.
keeps trying to skip my pick.
That was my bad. Well,
I'm
no,
gonna-
because he had double picks, so I just figured it was Gerald's. I knew there were double picks here.
I'm gonna go super sloppy double dare. You can just put double dare, but
Yeah.
that was
That was
a
fun.
go-to. And like you said, you wanted to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple. There was nothing more that I wanted to do than go through that final obstacle course
Mhm.
on Double Dare and dive through the mouth and do look for the red flag, like
Mhm.
all that. So much fun. And then my final pick. This one's a little off the board. I took the mainstream in the first three.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go late night with Conan O'Brien
Okay.
because it opened my mind to comedy and obscure comedy, and
Okay.
have been a Conan guy ever since. I actually went and saw Conan on my bachelor party. Like, that was how much I like Conan. So
Okay.
So this one, that's two, right? Yeah, you did two,
Yeah. Yep.
right? This one's tough because there's so many that I could choose from. But like, I love Recess, loved Recess.
Mhm. That's a
But
good
I
one.
think for me personally, I liked Pinky and the Brain better.
Pinky.
good call.
Pinky and the Brain was like every Saturday morning you would wake up and that was there. And all you wanted was a sidekick to be so you guys could be Pinky and the Brain.
You mean I always thought David Stern and Adam Silver, when they were a commissioner and a deputy commissioner, looked like Pinky and the Brain together.
Wait, have you watched the Animaniacs reboot on Hulu?
I haven't.
It's good.
They
Is it
have,
good?
Yeah, they have new Pinky and the Brains on it.
So are you
Pretty good.
taking?
I think I'm gonna do Pinky and the
Okay,
Brain.
so you're
Okay.
not taking the show it was in. You're taking. It eventually became its own thing. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with one that just makes me laugh, and to this day it still holds up. It makes me it's just hilarious. It's
Mhm.
Martin.
Okay.
Okay.
call.
Martin is just like, it's so damn funny.
Okay, so I got some options for the last pick. You guys have left me with Rugrats, Doug, and Batman the Animated Series
I
on the
almost-
board.
I
I knew
almost
you
took
were.
Batman
I knew
the
it was
Animated
probably on
Series.
your board
So underrated.
because it was really good. Yeah, let's go with Batman the Animated Series.
call.
It's still holds up as one of the best Batmans that like kids can watch, but it's still kind of like dark at the same time.
So I watched it as a kid and enjoyed it. I've gone back since HBO Max launched and rewatched a bunch of it and appreciate it even more now
Yeah,
as an adult because it's so well done.
How
So-
did you not take Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I honestly
How'd
like.
you wear the shirt and not pick the shirt?
It's not. It's a parody of it.
I don't care.
I mean, there were a lot of good shows in the '90s. What can
There
I
were
say?
so many good shows. That's the hard part about this one that I kind of wish that we would have like separated the categories for the 90s simply
always
because
can.
there were so many good ones. Like I have All Real Monsters, Recess, Ren and Stimpy, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like
Mhm.
people in the chat were mentioning Gargoyles. That was a solid
Gargoyles
show.
was on my board.
Darkwing Duck. If I was looking at just cartoons,
Mhm.
probably would have made my cut.
I didn't know the 70s show started in the 90s.
It
Like
started
that
in, like,
70s show was great.
It started in
DuckTales.
'99, I think, so that's why. I didn't-
DuckTales
DuckTales was good.
DuckTales.
Like there were just
We could do a
So
90s cartoon
many
draft
90s.
at some point for sure.
I just gave them all.
Well, no,
Gave all
I
mine
mean,
away.
but it would change because we'd all be picking from a
That's
cartoon
true.
pool.
Also,
so
Aaron
it
said Buffy. Buffy was good. Somebody mentioned Xena and Hercules. Like those were bomb.
Those
too.
were like the great cheese shows. Like,
Yeah.
if you didn't have cable as a kid and all you got was the old UHF channels, and you're like, yeah, there we go. There's a show I can watch. I don't got this Nick at Night crap. I got Xena.
Tailspin, Dawson's Creek, yes, all bangers.
Tales from the
Knight
Crypt,
Rider was the
somebody
80s.
Yeah, Knight Rider was the 80s. Somebody mentioned Tales from the Crypt. I remember watching that when I wasn't supposed to as a kid. This is like, oh, I shouldn't do this. You know, there's all sorts of. Somebody mentioned Parker Lewis Can't Lose, and that's one of those like random shows that I enjoyed. Larry Sanders Show.
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead.
I don't know, man. I just feel like I wish cartoons were like this. I would enjoy watching cartoons with my niece more these days if they were like these cartoons from back in the day. You just need
to introduce her to those cartoons from back in the day.
But are they on streaming sites?
Yeah, you can find any of the Disney ones are all on HBO or not on HBO Max. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so someone said The Wire. The Wire didn't start till 2002, and I also left The Sopranos off because that technically started in the 90s, but it was like 99.
Yeah.
You know, a guilty pleasure one that I was thinking about was American Gladiators. That was like just dumb fun.
I used to do that in my house.
Oh yeah.
I used to set up the obstacle course, and my sister would stand on like a coffee table and try to hit me with like a tennis ball and stuff.
You get so much fun. You get the pool noodles and put 2 pillows on it and try to beat the shit out of each other. Like,
well, they have things like that now, like at the trampoline parks for kids. They have things where you can go do that type of stuff, which is super fun.
Maybe we should do that here.
I do want to bring up something before we go.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Flex from Jersey tweeted out in the middle of our 90s draft that his sources are telling him KD planned to be here. He's not here. And it was for non-basketball reasons. So
then who was that?
Take that. Yeah, who was that guy that hung out?
Who was helping build the light rail?
Damn it. I mean,
I don't know, but that dude looked like KD today on the golf course.
We had photographic evidence, so screw any sources out there that say otherwise. No, I just wanted to get that to the people in case they
So he didn't come to Phoenix.
Well, we don't. Yes, according to Flex, according to others, he was here. I don't know.
How disappointing.
All that for naught.
Oh, Andrew in the chat mentioned Sex in the City.
Was that in the 90s?
Yeah.
I think it was like 96 or something like that.
It's how I understood women in high school. I watched that show. So.
That's how you, wait. That's how you understood women in high school?
Well, you got to study, right? You got to know where they're headed. So
like they don't like those. No, they were women.
I was flirting with my teachers. That's what I'm saying. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. We didn't have any attractive
Come
teachers.
get your man.
I'm going to put somebody on the spot because we got to do a DraftKings pick of the week. So think about it while I tell everybody about how you can get in on the action with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. All you have to do is download their app. It's literally that simple. And when you download it, use the promo code PHNX when you sign up, because when you use that promo code, after you make your first deposit, you're going to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Once again, that is promo code PHNX only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, disclaimer, minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. So make sure you are within those, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Parameters.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. See show notes for all the details.
Here's your pick.
Who's got our pick of the week?
I got one.
Oh, you got one. Cool.
Trace McSorley's going to lead the Arizona Cardinals to victory in Cincinnati in the opening game of the.
But there's no betting line on that.
Yeah, it was 1.5.
Oh,
Gerald has one too.
And I thought of it all by myself too.
Oh, what you got, Gerald?
You're claiming I didn't.
Lions money line against the Falcons tonight in preseason. Totally my pick, not anyone else's.
Who the hell bets on the Lions at any point? Oh, now we know.
Listen, all I'm saying is I think this might have been the only bet that you have told us that you would do, Gerald.
Because I don't personally bet. But
so I'm saying everyone should take this bet. Because I feel like
it's 100% Shane's bet.
No!
Aww.
He's so sad.
Gerald.
Sorry, guys.
Now I'm pissed. I just thought of another. I should have taken SNL. The early 90s run of SNL. Some of the best characters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Once you go down the historic road with Espo, he can't get out of that space.
Oh, no.
He's going to be thinking about this all weekend.
We have to end the show
All
and
weekend,
reset him.
all weekend, I'm going to be all pissed that I didn't take some.
Thank you guys for joining us. As a reminder, and as always, we want you to stay safe and healthy. And a great way to do that are COVID-19 vaccines, and they are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov/findvaccine for a location near you. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Until next time, we hope you have a great weekend, and you can follow along with us on Twitter until we see you next week. I'm at Lindsay Smith AZ. Saul is at Saul_Bookman. Gerald is at Gerald Bourget. And of course, Espo is at Espo. Espo, take us home.
They don't make TV shows like they used to in the 90s. Ahoy, hoy.
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B. Always on the job, my team move like the